Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3 review. This time the 6th episode of the season and the 22nd overall, also known as Guns for Hire. Let's see, last episode after helping, I believe his name is, I always forget his name. Grief Karga to Mandalorian's helping out Navarro and all that stuff after the request from the New Republic captain and all that stuff. From the pirates. But Armor is now tasked with Bo-Katan after removing her helmet to reunite the Mandalorian people, as she now believes that she is the one that will unite them and all that stuff. And will she do it? Who is joining her in the task? Well, we're about to find out and all that stuff. But yeah, the episode, of course, first begins with a Quarren ship and all that stuff, where it looks like they're being chased by Imperials and all that stuff. And they try to offer them money for warlord status, but instead it's actually Mandalorians who are hired to kidnap, who are hired to retrieve the Mon Calamari nobleman's son, as with the captain of the Quarren, who, funny enough, as like lovers, like a sort of Romeo Juliet kind of thing. But he doesn't want to go, but the Quarren says to do so because, well, the Mandalorians, they don't play around. But yeah. But he ends up going I thought you lot was for honor, but he says and among those Mandalorians are, of course, Kroska Reeves, and apparently who are led now by Axe Wolves, the Mandalorians that Bo-Katan had from the second season. But yeah, they are honorable, but it depends who's paying them and all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, we in that intro, we are then cut to Bo-Katan, who turns out to be traveled with Din Djarin and Grogu, who seem to decide to come along with her last episode, along with R5. So yeah, we've got a sort of crew of 4 here and all that stuff. But yeah, where they are, where they've gone to the planet, Plaza 15 and all that stuff, where they're now being, sort of hired as a privateer army there and all that stuff. And apparently the planet is a direct democracy and all that stuff. They go there to try and recruit them and all that stuff, but before that, they have to deal with a request from the government there, who was partly former royals and partly Imperials, if you will. They are led by the Duchess, who's part of the royal family there, but and also someone called Captain Bombardada, who was actually portrayed by Jack Black and all that stuff. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit of Jack Black today since I also watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, and that's why I'm a bit late with this review. Anyway, he's an former Imperial who, of course, received the New Republic's program and all that stuff. I'm not sure if plus R15 is actually a part of the New Republic, but it is regarded as at least a direct democracy where everything is voted up to the public and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting. Seems to be, but yeah. Which I assume that was the case with most planets' governments, but I could be wrong. But yeah. But they wish to hire Bo-Katan and Mandalorian as they can help have their army, the privateer army they hired, come in due to some technicalities with the New Republic and all that stuff with the armistice. But yeah, he's married the Duchess, and also, besides wars, direct rulers, that stuff, they have a problem. The droids that they helped program have been going haywire, causing a ruckus. All that stuff, and they need the Mandalorians to investigate, which they cannot have their privateer army back. And in exchange, they promise that for Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and all that stuff, is that they will help persuade the New Republic to recognize Mandalore as a southern state and her as a leader and all that stuff. So yeah, which they agree to the terms and all that stuff, as long as they get to see the Mandalorians afterwards. During which they begin their investigation, where they end up meeting, I believe, wrong pay. they end up meeting. I believe his name is Haljet, who is the head of the Plaza security thing, which reveals recordings of like the droids going haywire, attacking, minor witty outbursts. Some of them, of course, are regular service droids and protocols, and others are like separatist battle droids. And some that you've seen, like that cooking droid from like the Book of Boba Fett. But yeah. But yeah. But it's revealed that the button can deactivate them all and all that stuff. But let's see, the public needs direct democracy in order to vote, and they voted not to get rid of the droids because they pretty much do all their chores and lifestyle, work jobs and all that stuff, which, let's see, allows them, which allows them all to do their curacy choice of lifestyles and that stuff. In many ways, it kind of reminds me of Utopia. Let's see, of like the Orville, but with the droids being servants and all that stuff. But yeah, doing all the labor work. No, granted, maybe not exactly like that, but yeah. During which, let's see, the head of the office leads them to like the Argonauts who deal with the things, which, but after Bo-Katan struggles to get them, Mando, speaking like a quill and referencing him, is able to get sources with them and all that stuff. Where to go, in which they go to a docking bay where a B1 battle droid is managing B2 super battle droids with cargo. Mando keeps kicking some of them until one of them starts running and they gave chase, eventually shooting it down, in which they end up going to like finding like a ship thing that leads them to a bar called the Resistor, where they meet the droids at the pub. After like a bit of an interrogation, with Bo-Katan playing good cop and Mando playing bad cop, which framed the droids, they reveal that they don't want the trouble with the droids and all that stuff, and they actually like their life here and the second chance this planet has given them, and they wish to help them so that none of their fellow kinds can be deactivated by the New Republic, particularly the battle droids of the Separatists. So yeah. Eventually, due to like they realize that let's see, the type of fuel that each of these droids have hired have like a specific type of I believe it is a let's see, and their maintenance fluid. They eventually go to like a let's see, a security brief with a woman. I can't recall her name. I do not know which character it is. But I assume that it is, let's see, is it Shoggoth maybe? No, that's the Quarren. It's either that, maybe the Saphir or Kem possibly, but yeah, she investigates nanobots. There's a code and all that stuff. Let's see, one of the droids inside goes haywire. Some sort of like that, sort of white version of like the Ultra droid you saw with Leia. And causing a bit of laser blast, but eventually Din Djarin cuts it down with a Darksaber. And eventually they discovered that it is actually Hellget that is, it's been pretty programming these droids. Our group of Matt, Din Djarin, and Bo-Katan go to confront him and to reveal that he was a separatist. Believing in the ideals of Count Dooku, is trying to get rid of the Empire, the Republic and the Empire and all that stuff. And is about to try and activate the button that he told you wasn't allowed to press before to turn them all back into battle droids. But Bo-Katan is able to quickly disable him. Paralyze or disable him before, or shock him down, I guess, before he could do it. With some brief provoke about politics, but yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, Grogu is with like the Duchess and the Captain thing, and she ends up bonding with him due to feeding him some food, which he jumps to her, and then ends up playing some sort of game with like insects on these sort of hollow score and on these sort of like score glitzy hollow things, and I guess it's like skee ball, maybe that's what I'm trying to describe it. I don't know, the one sort of like getting a ball, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, but when they end up learning what the captain that Helge did, rather shocked by the betrayal, though he reveals that he doesn't really like the Imperial captain and blames him for the place being unrecognizable. Let's see, the Duchess wants to forgive. He asks the Duchess to forgive him eventually, which she may do at one point, but for the moment, he is now being exiled to the moon. Let's see, Din Djarin and Bo-Katan award the key of the city, the highest honor, and then they're allowed to meet with the Mandalorians, in which they do, in which you see Axe Wolf and Costa Reeves notice him and all that stuff. Notice Bo-Katan, who told Din Djarin that she will handle this when she gets there. He doesn't want, Axe Wolf likes being in charge and doesn't want to listen to Bo-Katan anymore, so she challenges him to a duel. They fight, she wins, but they still refuse to actually have her as a leader because, well, since Din Djarin has the dark saber entity and they regard his sect as a cult, why would they follow him? But Din Djarin reveals that he was actually saved by Bo-Katan from a cyborg, Mandalore, and that he lost to. So in text, in a sense, she reclaimed the weapon from the cyborg. Therefore, the weapon is rightfully hers. Properly gives it to her, and the Mandalorians there finally agree to follow her. Igniting the dark saber once again, ready to lead her people for the third time, and this time rightfully earning the dark saber. Okay, let's see. There's quite a lot to pack in this episode. I think first off, I kind of like the Quan ship design. It seems like a sort of Nikum, like a spear thing and all that stuff. It kind of reminds me of the Mon Calamari cruisers, but a bit more golden and all that stuff. I guess it goes to show you the differences of the culture. Let's see. I thought it was kind of strange when I was opening with that episode first. I did kind of like how the Mon Calamari, I believe her name is, let me get, I believe it's, no, Shaggoth, yeah, was in a sort of tank first and then being fed a fish inside it, and then getting out of the tank to, and all that stuff, and trying to bargain with Imperials and all that stuff. But when they realized Mandalorians, she realized she was kind of screwed if she doesn't give up her love. And interestingly, the Mon Calamari, nobleman and all that stuff is actually the same one that appeared in the hologram of episode 3 and all that stuff of Mandalorian in season 1, in which who skipped bail and all that stuff, which Din Djarin was originally going to get before changing his mind to go rescue Grogu. I do like that little bit of non-continuity, and then I wonder if this bounty was partly related to it and all that stuff. But yeah, interesting how it's interesting. It's kind of like it's like a Romeo Juliet kind of situation. Two different species technically are not allowed to have romance with each other, from my think. Well, which I do find a bit odd since they share the same planet and they've been at peace with each other for a while. But it seems the nobleman running away to this Quarren was not allowed by the family, so he had so he decided to run away with his lady love, even though she kind of referred to it as a little child's fling. But let's see. Of course, she didn't really mean it. Let's see, she misspoke and all that stuff, but she does actually love him, but doesn't want to risk the lives of her crew and all that stuff. And so she's willing to give him up, even though she still loves him. But I do like how the Mon Calamari tries to do his best, but yeah. But interesting how but of course the Mandalorians don't really care about the whole thing. In politics, they're hired and they pay. But yeah, I do like how the fact that we got Axe Wolves again, who was only in like the 3rd episode of the 2nd season, which I was wondering why on earth he never appeared in the final with Bo-Katan and Costa Reeves and all that stuff. So yeah, it's nice to see them again. But yeah, it's interesting how he ended up taking the leadership. But I guess, let's see, I guess it's because he was the most skeptical of the Watch. So I guess that's why they wanted to have the sort of conflict later in the episode. So there's that. Anyway, Plaza 15 and all that stuff. First of all, I like the fact that at first I thought Bo-Katan was going by herself and Mando was just gonna be with the rest of the Watch, but clearly I was mistaken last episode. So yeah, I do like how you sort of duo has now become a team of four. If it's and it's like we've got like technically four main characters, if you will, or at least three main characters and one recurring droid. But yeah, but it seems like I think it's officially safe to say that Bo-Katan has officially become a main character in the third season, along with Din Djarin and Grogu, and maybe R5. But yeah, but you got a gang of four here. So I do like the fact they're using Bo-Katan's ship. But yeah. I do wonder. Let's see. My guess is that Mando's just keeping it back on Navarro and all that stuff, and will use it when need be. But yeah, but given the fact that they're trying to recruit Mandalorians, they're probably be more suited with a Mandalorian ship. But yeah. Anyway, Plazara 15, Direct Democracy. That's a very interesting. We never really seen that in Star Wars, let's see, directly. I mean, we've seen democracy in Star Wars, let's see, where senates are like people either elect their royalty, let's see, their royalty has been passed down for generations, or they elect their senators and they usually lead and they do all the voting. But let's see, but they've never like been like voting for like the direct leader of the galaxy and all that stuff. But yeah, but here the leaders are directly related elected. And that is and funny enough, they still elected their royals, so they must really like their royal family. Well, the Duchess seems pretty nice, but yeah. It's kind of like a sort of utopian society, if you will, where droids do all the work, while everyone gets to strive to do all their cultural stuff, whatever they like, arts, crafts, designs, and all that stuff, from what I can tell. So, yeah. Let's see. Granted, I doubt that will work. So it's like what our planet could have possibly evolved to if people just gave up capitalism and or just gave up economic thing and don't fully replace us with AIs and just let us do what we want instead of just working and all the stuff there. Granted, I might be getting a bit political here, so I apologize. But yeah, I do like how I do like how some of the funny how annoyed Bo-Katan and Din Djarin get with some of the identification things and clearance codes and all that stuff. But I do like how they're greeted by Imperial version of R2D2 and 3PO. Well, granted, the droid's head is one of the more bug-like ones, but still, you get that vibe from them. Anyway, Jack Black being an informer Imperial being rehabilitated by the New Republic, I thought was kind of funny. It's kind of funny how him and his wife are so lovey-dovey, but yeah. I do like how she's like, can I hold the baby? And Mando's like, he's not, welcoming into strangers and that stuff. It's like, I got a fish, and Grogu's just like jumps and all that stuff. So it's like, I like Mando's reaction of like, oh, of course. Like knowing what his adopted son is like at this point, but yeah. Even though I am pretty certain that Grogu is technically older than him. It's kind of fun. It's kind of weird to think about it like that. But yeah, I do kind of like how lovey-dovey this couple is, and I guess it goes to show you just that there are some rehabilitations from the New Republic that do work, particularly with this guy who has helped change this planet into a very direct democracy and all that stuff, where everyone can vote on issues and all that stuff. Now, whether or not... Now, that, of course, we've seen in this episode that has some positives and merits. People to get to have a much better lifestyle of culture, not really fighting and all that stuff, but they do need to hire a privateer army, but they can't have the army in the thing. Well, granted, that's more due to former Imperial Captain Bombarda, let's see, funny name. Let's see. Interestingly, it seems there's a disc. Great. Let's see. It seems like well, okay, that might actually be a title, but yeah, but there's that. But I do, and also the fact that they can't have the privateer army come in and help do their thing because of the New Republic's with him. That, and also the fact that let's see, due to voting in a certain way, voting, you can't just deactivate droids when they go amok. So there are some ups and downs what you see in the society, but overall, I'd say it's mostly positive. I do like how everyone's at peace, and you have all these different alien races there working, like even the sort of Gecko one from the second season, Mon Calamari, Quarren, stuff like that. So that was fun to see. Even though, but anyway, I do like how, interestingly, as the Mandalorians are, as Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are trying to get more and more, like, to reunite all the Mandalorians, during their quest to try and do the tasks, people are like offering them jobs and all that stuff to try and do certain things. In exchange for that stuff that can help them in their quest, particularly like have the New Republic recognize Mandalore as a southern state, which, to be fair, probably for the best, as, let's see, the Mandalorians probably don't want to get on the New Republic's bad side because, well, most of the galaxy, let's see, I think the New Republic would have a lot of concerns about rogue Mandalorian government that could be a threat to them and all that stuff. Well, most governments are wary of Mandalorians and their warrior ways, but still. So I do like that. So yeah. Anyway, other than that, I do like seeing how all the different types of droids that they're working and all that stuff. So yeah, and as a fan of the prequels and the Clone Wars, I do love seeing the super battle droids and the B1 battle droids. And I do like how the B1 battle droids have the voice from the Clone Wars and all that stuff. That's become their definitive voice at this point. So yeah. But yeah, but other than that, I do like seeing Ugnaughts again, and let's see, I do like the sort of banter between Bo-Katan, one trying to play good cop and bad cop with droids and all that stuff, where let's see, she tries to be more diplomatic with the droids, while he's more like willing to kick them, but with the Ugnaughts, she tries to be a bit more demanding, let's see, Din Djarin, who is experienced with the Ugnaughts, particularly Quill, and I do like he uses Quill's reference, I have spoken and all that stuff, to get their attention. I do wonder, it's interesting that these Ugnaughts might be ones who have maybe met Quill, though sadly we never got a reference whether or not they learned of his death, but I guess that was off screen. And it's interesting how we learn a bit about how prideful they are with their work here. So yeah, we kind of learn a bit more about Ugnaughts and through Mando with his experiences here. But yeah. But as I said, good cop, bad cop with the whole Mando just kicking super battle droids until one of them eventually started running. Let's see. Granted, I feel like maybe the CGI might have been a bit off, but I guess it's more like this is probably the first time seeing CGI, let's see, with the modern day style with a TV show than compared to like the movies. Granted, you could argue the movie ones have been a bit outdated for a bit, but yeah. But I do like the chase for the most part, and I do like how the fact that, let's see, it's interesting that the super battle droid was portrayed to be quite strong, lifting things and throwing them and all that stuff. In many ways, you sometimes forget just how strong, let's see, you just get, this episode in many ways showed more strength for the B2 super battle droids than maybe sometimes even the movies or the Clone Wars did, but yeah. But it shows that these guys are quite the threat. If you go against them in a fist fight, at the very least. So, yeah. But, yeah, of course, it gets shot down eventually. So, yeah. Anyway, I do like the sort of resistor droid thing. At first, I thought it was going to be some sort of, like, droid revolution bar kind of thing. But, no. The droids there, particularly the bartender, actually likes their lifestyle and all that stuff, and they want to help. So I thought that was a bit of an interesting twist when it looked like Din Djarin was about to blow the place up, even though Bo-Katan was trying to be the more diplomatic of the two here. And it's interesting the fact that, well, Din Djarin still has is prejudiced droids, but then again, I suppose it makes sense here with battle droids because of his history, particularly like the separatist ones. Particularly because he saw B2 battle droids shoot down his home village and all that stuff. So yeah. So I did like that. So but I did like how the bartender droid is like, let's see, he wants to help them because, well, if the New Republic needs to, let's see, if the New Republic finds these if these droids get deactivated by New Republic standards, they will be dismantled and all that stuff because, well, New Republic isn't going to like the battle droids that helped brought down the end of the previous Republic. So, yeah, I do like that. And it's interesting how they all would see we kind of let it's in many ways the whole droid bar kind of thing kind of reminds me of the bar for like episode 4, but here it's reversed. It's Ritty, we don't serve your kind here. This completely serves their kind, so it's a nice touch. I like all the droids we see, and not just the battle droids from the Separatists in the Clone Wars. You got protocol droids, R2 units, all other droids that you see throughout the movies. And anyways, it's a real fan service nod to all the types of droids you see in Star Wars this episode. But yeah, we also kind of learn that they got this fluid thing, like it's like their drinks and all that stuff. But it's really mostly necessary. But I do like the personality it gives them. Eventually, of course, interesting that we end up learning about nanodroids. I'm not sure if that was a thing in the EU legends, or even in the Star Wars mythos. I don't recall them in the movies, but we got them here in the Mandalorian. So it's arguably the first on-screen appearance at the least. There might have been some books and comics about it, but who knows? And that's what makes the droids go crazy. But I do like how Din Djarin ends up just getting to use the Darksaber again, even if this will probably be the last time before he gives it to Bo-Katan at the end of this episode. But yeah. But of course, I do find that the next bit is a bit of a rush with their Hellgate being the one behind the whole thing, the code programming the droids with Mando and Bo-Katan confronting him. But I do find it interesting how this guy was a separatist who fought against the Republic, Empire, and even we're willing to probably fight the New Republic and all that stuff. And he seems to be a fervent believer in Count Dooku, not realizing that he helped. What he was doing was actually helping forming the oppressive empire that oppressed his people. But yeah, I do like how he's willing to press like the button to turn every droid into battle droids again. But Bo-Katan just having enough of the politics is just taking him out. I feel on one hand, it was funny in her going politics, but I do feel kind of disappointed the fact that we weren't going to get a sort of droid revolution, if you will. I thought that's what the episode was building to, but no. But then again, but yeah. But I do like. Oh yeah. Well, next bit here. Let's see with Grogu. I feel like he was kind of like pointless in this episode, except for maybe a few moments with the Duchess and all that stuff being a sort of like, ooh, a chat baby, I want to help and all that stuff. But I do like how without her and the captain, Bombo Da and all that stuff. Them not realizing that Grogu's using the Force to help her with her game of insects, which I kind of find interesting how you've got like this game of insects to play, with sort of like through the hoops, if you will. So yeah, that was kind of interesting, but yeah. But I do find it funny how Grogu ends up being knighted by her for wolfing after the surface. Which granted, even though all he did was play with her, but yeah. But in many ways, it's probably the closest Grogu's going to get to her for a knighthood since he left Luke's Jedi and he's not going to knight him. But yeah, so that's fun. But yeah, I do like the sort of reaction the Duchess and Bombo Da have with their head of security Hellgate betrayal and all that stuff. And it's like Hellgate's like, I never liked you, Captain, and he's like. I had a feeling you didn't like me, seeing all that stuff, but yeah. But I just like the sort of disappointment that the Duchess has, and it is interesting that Hellgate does actually care for the Duchess, has been loyal to her family for years, and that's why he apologizes to her. But yeah, I do like how, he tries to say, maybe someday I can earn your forgiveness, which I do like how it's interesting. It seems like she does want to forgive him someday. But for now, he's going to be exiled. And from the way that he's been sent to the moon and the people's reactions, like, oh, this is not a pleasant place to go to. But he seems to accept it. But yeah, but of course, they get it. And for the first time, we see that, okay, you can be given keys to the city as a reward and all that stuff. So yeah. So that was kind of interesting. Let's see. Granted, let's see. For as far as I know, let's see. That seems to be more of a US thing, as I've never seen a key to a city in UK councils or mayors and all that stuff. But I could be wrong. But yeah, it seems more like a US thing. Anyway, no, let's see. Granted, I do feel like the next bit was a bit cut in last minute. Let's see. I kind of wished it went on a bit longer or a bit more of a build up. At first, I thought it was halfway through the episode, but I guess it got a bit quick, but yeah. But you know, Bo-Katan and Din Djarin going to see the Mandalorians. And see, even though usually Bo-Katan said, "I will think of it what to say when I meet them." I just knew it was going to turn into a fist fight because this is Mandalorians and all that stuff. And I was right. But I do like the reaction that you see people like Costco Reeves are seeing the former boss with like Din Djarin's like, oh my god, she's actually here and all that stuff. But yeah. But I do like how Wolves is like, yeah, I like being in charge now. We're not longer following you and all that stuff, or this cultist. So yeah. Anyways, it was interesting seeing hand-to-hand Mandalorian combat. Granted, we saw a brief duel between Din Djarin and Paz Vizsla in the Book of Boba Fett, but this is without any of the lightsabers, all those sort of whips, gadgets, and flamethrowers, and the shield things they have. So yeah, I do like how they end up flying around, hitting on other ships and all that stuff, trying to using their jetpacks to get away from the other. Trying to see with Bo-Katan trying to get him to yield until eventually he's on the floor. But I do like, but it's interesting how it's like he still doesn't really want to follow her, doesn't really recognize as a leader still because, well, she doesn't have the dark saber and refuses to claim it from Din Djarin, and doesn't really recognize Din Djarin as a proper Mandalorian because he doesn't have proper Mandalorian blood. But I do like how, due to Bo-Katan's experience with the Watch, has become, and Din Djarin, let's see, he defends him, saying he's just as Mandalorian as any of them, and even taking the creed and all that stuff, and tries to be a leader that tries to unite both things. But I do like Din Djarin's thing of giving her the dark saber, and she tries to refuse because it's not the custom. Even though she could easily probably, even though it seemed like one of her only options is to fight him. But I do like how Din Djarin decides to finally reveal that, which many are wondering since what happened in the second episode when he got captured, is that due to being rescued by Bo-Katan and defeating his captor, the Darksaber is technically hers still, and sees that get the other Mandalorians to recognize her as the wielder, and they do. So he now properly gives it to her. In many ways, it's a bit surprising because I figured Din Djarin was going to be the leader for the Mandalorians, or there was going to be some like, no longer we need the Darksaber thing, or the I believe what Bo-Katan saw with the the Minosaur and all that stuff. That would be the more of the symbol instead. But no, the Darksaber. Let's see. But I think Din Djarin realizes, okay, there's certain Mandalorians that will follow certain traditions, and these ones, the Darksaber. So gives it to her, willing to give it to her so she can lead, and she wields it once again. So but yeah. I figured he might have been the next leader, or at least Grogu will eventually. But no, it seems Bo-Katan is. And this time, for the third time, let's see, three's a magic number, as they say. Which is interesting because she was first handed it by the Jedi in the Republic after the defeat of Maul. Then lost it briefly to the Empire. Was given a Darksaber by Sabine Wren to lead the Mandalorians against the Empire. But then, of course, the Great Purge happened. And it's like this time she has done all the Mandalorian traditions and even seen the Minosaur. So now it seems like this time she is now, for the third and last time, chance of hers, she's going to try and reunite all the Mandalorians. Now, let's see, and arguably with probably Din Djarin and Grogu by her side. Now, for not that lead to a romance with Din Djarin and Bo-Katan, I don't know. But at the moment, they're with her side and they're recruiting more Mandalorians here. So yeah, I do like how the army is a mix of the Mandalorian ships and Imperial vessels they have, including the one they stole from Moff Gideon. Now, given the fact that, let's see, so yeah, Now what's going to happen next? I do not know, but I'm guessing that more of these Mandalorians are going to go with the Watch as more tribe members get together. But I'm assuming that we're going to have some. I guess the next 2 episodes as more. Let's see. We'll probably build up to like the final with like a conflict with Moff Gideon, who's escaped, and the New Republic revealing that Din Djarin and that Mandalorians apparently broke him out. So yeah. So my guess is that Bo-Katan is going to reunite with all her people to have a confrontation with Moff Gideon, alongside Din Djarin and all that stuff, where they try to deal with him before the Mandalorians get accused by the New Republic of all this crimes and all that stuff. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, I give this episode 8.5 out of 10. If you're a fan of the Clone Wars and the Clone Wars references and all that stuff, you enjoy seeing all the B1 and B2 battle droids. And if you're a fan of droids and Star Wars in general, you probably just enjoy seeing this episode. And seeing Mando with like the Ugnaughts, his got ongoing relationship with Bo-Katan, good cop, bad cop, and all that stuff kind of thing. Who's trying to be nice and who's trying to be demanding and all that stuff between either organics or droids. Let's see, I'm seeing Ugnaughts again. Let's see, references to Quill and all that stuff. Jack Black. Let's see, and this direct democracy planet of Pazla 5. No, granted, there may be some strange things like the opening bit with the Mon Calamari and Quarren, though I didn't mind it myself, though I feel like it's a bit, some might feel like it's unnecessary, but yeah. Return of, I guess, Axe Wolves and Costco Reeves and all that stuff. And granted, I kind of felt like the stuff with Helgat was rushed, but I do kind of like the separatist motivation and all that stuff. And I do like how Bo-Katan is becoming a lot more stronger defender of Din Djarin, and Din Djarin with her as well. And her now be getting more and more willing the right to lead the Mandalorians and all that stuff. So yeah. Granted, I do kind of wish the episode was perhaps another 10 minutes longer, just so that more of the stuff can be built up and all that stuff. But yeah. Or it feels like this could have been 2 separate episodes, a two-parter. But yeah. But overall, it was pretty good. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Granted, I do feel like Grogu was still kind of pointless, and I feel like not at the only the early episodes really he had meaning. But yeah. But other than that, that's all I have to say for now. And yeah, for those who end up listening to a review, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. May the Force be with you. Let's see, goodbye for now, for this is the way. And yeah, bye-bye.